Okay, it's working now. I feel better. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so here's what I just want to mention here on Canvas. This morning, very early, because Dayla asked me for a review. I don't know that this is the best review, but it was something that I came up with super fast. Okay, so just because it's not on the review doesn't mean it won't be tested. But if you go under here under notes, I've got test reviews, and I've got review chapters 1 through 3 and 9 to 10 key terms. Okay, I did this super fast. Okay, so I think it's okay. But these are some key terms, okay, that you should know, and I came up with a few problems that I could think of off the top of my head. So, chapter 1, key terms, distribution. Do you know what a distribution is? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. We're not going to have time to go over all of this today, but do you know the difference between a categorical and a quantitative variable? When should you use a line graph, a pie graph, or a bar graph? Do you know how to create those in Excel? Can you draw them by hand? Are pictograms or 3D graphs a good idea? No, thank you for the quick answer on that one. Seasonal variation. I don't know that we talked very much about that, but the one thing that I will just mention, sometimes you'll have seasonal variation. Do people buy snow shovels in July?
Yes.
No, you can't even find them in the store.
Oh, okay. It was a guess.
No, people don't. Yeah, if you go right, I don't even know if you can buy them in October, to be honest. Okay, so a lot of times you'll have seasonal variation. You should compare December of 2018 snow shovel sales with December of 2017 sales. You shouldn't compare July versus December because it's kind of a meaningless thing. Do you know how to make good graphs? What should a good graph include? Titles. Axis titles. Okay. Do you know how to make all of the graphs? Do you know how to make a stem plot? You know what, that's something we actually don't think we covered very well. Would you like to review that really quick? Okay. So let's say, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make, and by the way, so here's the normal distribution table. I'm probably going to give you a sheet that has a bunch of random numbers on here, which you probably won't need. The normal distribution table, you will need that. I will give you the t-distribution, but you're not going to need that for test number 1, so you can basically ignore that. And I'll also give you the chi-square table. Obviously, you don't need that for this test, okay? So, but be sure that you know how to use the normal distribution table. Hopefully, we've learned a lot today, right? Okay? All right. I'm also going to give you a formula sheet that looks like this, okay? This is going to be all the formula sheets. Now notice I did not put the square root of n on there because mostly in test 1, you don't need that. Oh, I think I do have them. I do have them down here. These are I've got them under hypothesis tests for means because that's where they really belong. But so these are going to be the formulas that you can use all semester. I will give you this on both the written test as well as the computer test. They will hand you this. So there's more information that you'll need, but you'll probably need this later on in the semester. So I will also note that I've given you some Excel commands. Norm-S dist, you should all be familiar with. Norm-S inverse, that's like using the table backwards. Okay, do you remember when we went over that in class on Tuesday? Okay, I don't know that I gave you this command, but you can use that command to use the table backwards. It works exactly the same way as this table here. It measures the area to the left. Okay. Average gives you the mean, median gives you the median, quartile gives you the quartiles. So you'll have them. Now, I haven't explained exactly how to use them. I know, Craig, you weren't here on Tuesday. Did you watch the video on Tuesday? You should, because you missed a lot. Okay. Just as a reminder, on my YouTube channel, okay, if you go to the announcements, if you go to the very first announcement here, videos and homework, click on this YouTube page, it will take you to my YouTube page. We've got Chapter 10, Ethics, Part 1 and 2, Observational Studies. We talked about graphs. Now, by the way, this one, it says sections 2.3 to 2.4. That's actually from my Math 2040 class. It wasn't our class, but remember, my recording didn't record, and so it's basically it's very similar information. So I popped that in there. So you've got mean, median, mode, 5-number summary, the standard deviation. Would anybody like to go over the standard deviation today? Yeah, and z-scores and normal tables. That's what we did last time. So I think I'm missing a video. Aren't I missing the beginning of? Well, I think actually 2.7 goes up through 3.4. I think if you watch that video. So anyway, you just click on that announcement. I will have the review up there after I get done with this today, and you can review that as well. So if you want to review anything, this is a great weekend to do it. So as a reminder, it's recorded now, so you can't say I didn't tell you. When is the computer test, and when and where? Monday is for free in the testing center. Tuesday and Wednesday will cost you $4. When's the written test and where? Tuesday in our regular classroom, 214, LA 214, okay? So, so just remember that. So it's on video, okay? I told you. I have video proof. All right. So anyway, let's pull this up here. So I've got chapter 1, 2. Oh, I don't have chapter 3 on there, except for some of this stuff comes from chapter 3. I should update this with chapter 3. Chapter 3 is what we just went over. So sorry, so this definitely isn't complete. But I've got chapter 10. I've also got some sample problems like 1.44. I don't remember if that was a problem I assigned, but I liked it on page 44. Make the line graphs. Who does not know how to make a line graph? Okay. All right. So we won't go over that. So you guys can pull this up in your own Canvas. Based on this, is there anything you would like to go over? Probably the computer stuff, right? Because this is your last day. Oh, making a stem plot. Let's do that really quickly. Okay, the problem is I need some data. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me open it. So have I told you what the randomization number is in Excel? The randomization, is that on my sheet? Oh, it's not on my sheet. I thought it was. The randomization number is rand between. Okay. And then you could do 1 through 100, or whatever you want to do, 22 through 55. Okay? So let's pretend that this represents some data here. Okay? Here, we'll make it a little bit more. Okay? So these are a bunch of random numbers. Now you'll notice that when I type, those numbers keep changing. Isn't that annoying? Okay, here's how you change that. If you click on column A, and if you right click and say copy, and then if you right click again, and if you click on 1, 2, 3, it's going to turn that from rand between to the actual values. And so now when I type, it doesn't change. Okay? All right, so a stem plot. Let's talk about a stem and leaf plot here.
What did you do after you did rand between? You said put through the numbers.
So you right click this, you say copy. And then you got the Las Vegas thing.
And then it says name and question mark.
Oh, you've got to pick a couple of numbers.
How do I put them in?
So rand between. And then pick 2 numbers. I'll pick 22 and 35. You can pick anything more. No, don't put, you need a comma, not a dash.
Oh,
Okay, it's 1 comma 15 or 2 comma whatever. Okay? Then you copy it down So you right-click copy, right-click paste special, click on the 1, 2, 3, and it will turn those into numbers. So now you notice the rand between isn't there anymore. Okay. All right, so this is my data. Now, a stem plot, basically, you can think of a stem plot as a text histogram. Okay. I'm going to move this over here so I can still see my numbers. Okay, so as we look at these numbers here, I've got 40s, 50s, 30s, 20s. Okay, so I've got a stem plot with the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s. You all see that? Okay, so I'm going to draw a line. This is called the stem, and these are called the leaves. It's also a stem plot. It's also called a stem and a leaf plot. Okay. Now, in the book, I think they sort all the numbers. I don't care if you sort them. It's nice if you do, but I don't care that bad. Okay. You can think of a stem plot as a text histogram. Okay. So you can see there on my Excel, the first number I have is 44. So I'm going to put 44, just like that. The second number I have is 40. The third number I have is 52. The fourth number I have is 30, 45, 33, 40, 39, 54, 24, 46, 33, 25, 50, 29, 45, and 47. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so what you do is, you kind of turn your head sideways and you go, oh, that kind of looks like a histogram, right? Turn your head sideways, right? Okay. So you can think of this as a text histogram. Now, this was great before computers when you couldn't make a histogram. In fact, we're going to take these same numbers and we're going to make a histogram out of them in a minute. Okay? But so you can think of this as a text histogram. Okay? Now, is that a right skewed or is it left skewed? Okay. Remember, we go from the peak here. That's the peak, right? So this would be an example of a left skewed histogram. Okay? Yes?
In single digits, would the stem just be 0?
Yeah, in fact, that's a good question. I shouldn't have drawn it so closely. So let's say let's add the number 5 to my list, okay? So I should have a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? I'm going to copy what I've got here. So 4, 5, 9, 0, 3, 3, 9. Here, I'll sort it as I go, okay? 0, 0, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 0, 2, 4. And then let's say that I had the number 9. Or, sorry, whatever. I don't know what I said. 9. So I add a 0 in front of the 9. So that would represent the 9. Can I get rid of this 10 here since there's nothing there? No. Okay. Now, as you'll see this, it's going to change my graph a little bit. Okay. So a lot of students, they're like, well, I don't have any 10s. I'm going to get rid of it. No, don't get rid of it. You still want it there. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. So now that we've done that, let's go back to here. I'm going to add the number 9 in here. Okay. Now, let's say that I wanted to make a histogram. How would you do that? This is a test question. By the way, let me ask a question. Remember, I gave you guys a spreadsheet. I didn't give you the answers on that spreadsheet, did I? How many of you did not do that spreadsheet? Only one person's honest? Okay. Well, I'm not going to ask JC how to do the histogram. Do you guys know how to make a histogram out of this data? Highlight the data. I think you're using the illegal method. Because remember, I said you can't use the histogram maker on the test. You can, you'll get 0 points. How do you make this by hand? Nope. That's the cheater method.
See, I didn't do this, so I guess I don't know.
Who knows how? Okay, we can put them in order. That might be helpful. So how do you put them in order?
Like
Data. Sort smallest to largest. Okay. Insert. So this is our data. Okay. How many sorry, I just gave it away. In order to create a histogram, you need to come up with numerical categories. How many should you have? Five to 7, okay? Now, just as a reminder, since Keaton mentioned it, there is a histogram maker right here. And why is that terrible? Because you don't learn it, that's one thing, but why there's another reason. How many categories are there? There's only 3, right? There's too small, okay? If you have 100,000 data points, you can use it, that's fine. I'm not going to give you 100,000 data points. I'm going to give you, what do I have here, 20? Something like that, 18? I'm going to give you a small data set. I want you to do it because Excel's not going to do a very good job, okay? So 5 to 7 categories, it goes from 5 to 55, or 9 to 55, right? So what are some good categories there? You could do the 0s, the 10s, the 20, kind of like I did with this, right? In fact, that would give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories. That's not bad, okay? Or you could go, you can do this any way you want. But we'll follow the stem plot here, okay? We're going to do the 0s, the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s, okay? And in fact, maybe I should say, let's be a little bit more specific. This is 0 to 9. This is 10 to 19. Now watch what happens when I do this. October 19th, is that what I wanted? How do you fix that? Huh? There's an easier way. Put an apostrophe in front of it. 10-19. Okay? 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59. Okay? Now, as a reminder, could I stop at 55 or 54? No. Why not? Well, 54 would include all the data, right? But why not? All of your groups have to be equally sized. All of them. Okay? So I can't stop at 54 because then this group would be unequally sized with that group. Okay? They all have to have equal sizes. That's a common mistake. Now, another way, in fact, just for fun, I could go 9 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24. No. Wait, 9 and 5 is 14. No, 15 to 20. I want to keep these the same. 21 to 26, 27 to 32, 33 to 38, 39 to 44, 45 to 50, 51 to 56. I could do that if I wanted to, okay? And what we will do is we will compare them. Now, how many groups do I have? 8, that's okay. You can get away with 8, okay? So this one has 6, that one has 8, okay? Now, do you remember what to do next? Put an apostrophe in front of it. In front of the, yeah, in front of the 10. Okay? I'm scared that you guys don't know the answer to this. You guys are scaring me. Is this test going to be a disaster? What am I supposed to do next?
You tally how many are in each category.
I mean, there's a tally. Okay. How many do I have from 0 to 9? 1. From 10 to 19? 0. From 20 to 29, how do I do that without counting? Highlight the data. I've got 3, right? 30, 39. I look down here, it says I have 4. 40 to 49. I look down here, it says I have 7. 50 to 59, I've got 3. Okay? Now, let me ask you another question before we do this. What's the relative frequency? You guys should be blurting out the answers. It's going to be an ugly test. The percent, right? How do I figure out the percent? I need to get the total, right? Total in this case is 18. I'm going to move this. Okay. How do I get the percent of 0 to 9?
Divided by
1 divided by the 18, right? Is there anything else I should do?
absolute and total absolute.
Absolute reference. I press the F4 key, right? Okay. Now, because of that, I can copy it down. And if I did it right, what should it add up to? 1.
Well, can we go on?
What's the relative frequency?
What's the relative frequency? The percent in each category, right? Okay, we've only got 4 minutes left. I'd like to go slow, Keaton, unless you want to stay after. Okay? So, it's simply that. Now, what's the cumulative frequency? What? It's the number above, right? So the first one is only one of them, right? The second one's going to be this number plus that number there, right? If I did it right, what should it add up to? 18. Did. Okay. What's the relative cumulative frequency? It's the cumulative frequency plus everything above, right? So the first one's exactly the same. The second is going to be this number plus that number. And if I did it right, what should it add up to? 1. And did. Okay? Now I want to make a histogram. That was what I first started here. You guys have a lot of studying to do. Okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do. These are my groups. Okay? I'm going to take this, and if I hold the control key down, I can do this column here. Okay? Now, how do I make a histogram? insert, got about 1 minute left, grab a bar chart, a 2D bar chart. Now I got to change it to what? Quick layout. I'm going to pick this one here. The bars touch, right? What's this title? This is my groups. What's this title here? It's my number of students or whatever this is. I don't know what it is. And then this is the math 1040 class. Okay, or whatever the data represents. Okay. Now, how would you describe this histogram? Left skewed. Now the question is that 9 an outlier? Do you know how to find out? Because we're out of time. Huh? Find the interquartile range, multiply it by 1.5, add and subtract that value from Q1 or Q3. Okay, do you remember how to make a box and whisker plot? Really super easy. The box and whisker plot will tell us quickly. Here we can do the cheater method, right? So how do you make a box and whisker? Insert. You can grab this one here, box and whisker. Okay, based on this, is 9 an outlier? It's not. Okay. Now, I would like you to erase that 1, and then if you add your axis titles, you can put in, these are grades, and these are, oh, sorry, these are grades. I don't know, whatever this is. This is quizzes or something, I don't know.
If it's the same as the histogram with the one groups and the other one's still the number of students?
No, it will not be the same as the histogram. Okay? You'll have to customize it for whatever it is. This is a bunch of fake data, so it's a little hard to label it. But yeah, whatever is in the problem is what you'll label it with, okay? Okay, I know, by the way, do you agree that that's left skewed? Yeah, because it's got a really long tail here, right? So in both cases, those are left skewed. Okay, so we did the computer stuff. I will try to add, so I've got that up there. I will try to add some stuff this weekend. I don't know if I'll do it today, probably Saturday or Sunday. So check the review again. We did cover chapter 3 today, so hopefully that stuff's still fresh on your mind. But I'll try to add some more stuff from chapter 3, the normal distribution, that sort of a thing, okay? So do you know how to create these things by hand? I hope so. I hope you can find that 5-number summary by hand, okay? So you're going to need to know by Monday if you want to take it Monday, or Tuesday or Wednesday if you want to take it those days. The written test is Tuesday in class, LA 214. Any last questions before I let you go? You guys want to get a study group together? Meet with, exchange phone numbers and texts right now. Because you guys are scaring me on this first test bad, okay? I don't curve, just to warn you. Okay? You want me to post this? I can post this. I'll post it up there. Okay?